Zaha Hadid was one of the world's most famous architects. She designed buildings that people had never seen anything like before. You'll recognize them because they have very natural forms. They look like they were almost impossible to be built. And sometimes she even would make a painting and then be inspired by her own paintings. Look at these amazing structures. She's known for undulating forms, which means something that looks like a snake and has curves. She's done some very large and important buildings. We can be inspired by an architect to design our own things. Early in her career, she was told that what she wanted to make was impossible, but people fell in love. This is a slide inspired by Zaha Hadid. You will be creating a playground inspired by Zaha Hadid. You'll also be able to place that playground anywhere in the world using green screen technology. Mine is featured here in Paris, France. We will begin with a green base. You'll see why later. Green also can remind us of grass or ground. To do this, put your name on the bottom first, because you will start to build some complicated structures above. I have some silvery paper that I can cut into natural forms to make a body of water. I'm just going to play with where I want things to be on my playground. When I cut very slowly so that my cuts are clean and don't have little jags on them. I cut with my dominant hand and hold the paper with my non-dominant hand. Here I am arranging some flat things like paths and streams on my green paper. It's okay if they go off the side a little bit because I will trim later. So look at how I'm slowly opening and closing my scissors and turning my paper with my left hand. This lets me cut a nice smooth line across my paper. If you cut too fast, you get jags. And this is also a sped up video. So I'll arrange my objects and then decide where I would like to glue them down. The challenge for this project is to have no tape, only glue, paper, string, and silver paper. If you've taken an art class before where someone had you make a line sculpture, this is a very similar concept. I'm going to design a bridge that goes over my stream. So I'm going to cut it to the right length, and then I'm going to fold little feet. So here I am folding back a small piece of paper and creasing it nicely, and then folding back the other end the same way, creasing it nicely. You'll see that these 2 feet are where it will attach to the base. I just have to tickle the bottom of those feet with a glue stick. Lots of things you build with paper can be attached in this way. You fold a small piece of paper down, glue it, and then hold it down on the base. So here's how it looks while you're doing it. I will stand up the feet, each one touching the paper very securely, and then spend a really long time massaging that glue down. Then I will glue down the other parts that I know are going to go on my ground. Once they're all glued down, I can turn my paper over and trim the parts that are sticking out. One of the challenges for this art project is to contain your whole playground on your one square. Now I get to cut out some of my structures. I'm going to use scissors. I don't have to use straight strips of paper like I did for the bridge. I can cut any shape I want and then just glue its feet down to my paper. I'm going to try one of these undulating or snake-like shapes that Zaha Hadid used. I'm going to decide where am I going to add glue so that it can touch the paper and stick down. I did one glue in the middle and one on the ends, And then I'm going to really hold this in place for a long, long time to make sure that it sticks. Only a small amount of attaching something is putting the glue on. The other big portion is making sure it really takes, giving it lots of time and pressure. So you can see I'm having a lot of trouble. I get to reapply the glue, and I get to try again and be more patient with making it stick. You can always put a paper clip in place to try and hold it longer, or a temporary piece of tape until it sets. Patience really pays off when you're sculpting with paper, both cutting and gluing, and you get time to make your next plan. I want to show you one more structure that I'm going to add here to my playground. It's a nice, unusual shape, and I'm going to fold 2 very obvious feet and show you how I can make that punch the paper up and decide where it should go on my playground. Just like the paper strip, I add some glue to the bottom of the feet and then hold them down in place. This could be like a picnic structure, something to hide around. Or as you'll see soon, you can dangle something from it or climb up it. However you want to use your playground. One more feature your playground might have is something that uses a brad to rotate. Brad is that little brass piece right there. I poked a hole in my structure, and then I poked a hole in the base, and then I open those legs there on the brad, and that means it'll spin. I decided I'm going to use string to dangle a little swing below this arch, so I put a pad of paper under while I poked a hole, and then pull a needle and thread up through the structure. And I attached a little circle to it so that there can be a swing dangling beneath. And then I'm going to tie a knot in the top so that it will stay in place. You can always use things like white glue to hold a string in place on your playground. Once it dries, it'll be really secure.